Ever tried working your way through Meteor spinning, or as it's sometimes called, two-poi, one hand? You might have found that as you're working your way through such basic tricks as Meteor weaves, as well as one-handed butterflies, you kind of have a difficult time keeping the plane straight between the two different sides of your hand. So how can you improve at this? Well, I've got you covered, friend. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And in this video, I'm sharing with you my 5 favorite exercises for getting down plane control in Meteor spinning or two-poi one hand. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. So first order of business to get out of the way, because everybody asks it, and namely, that is, what kind of grip am I using here? The grip that I'm using is that I'm putting my thumb in poi between my thumb and my index finger and holding it in what's commonly known as the key grip, pinching it between my thumb as well as the first joint of my index finger. The other end, my pinky end, is being held between my pinky and ring fingers and then pressed tightly against my palm. This is a position where I find I get maximum control for both ends. And of course, it presents the oldest conundrum in Meteor or two-poi one-hand spinning, which is, how do you control two planes at the same time with just one hand, especially when you've got a fist bundled up so tight, keeping those poi together? So glad you asked. Let's dive in. Exercise 1, swapping directions. So your first challenge, should you choose to accept it, is going to be getting your thumb end moving while keeping the pinky end moving as little as possible. Oh yeah, and also changing the direction of your thumb end, just in case you needed a little bit extra there. How exactly do you do that? I'm so glad you asked. We're going to go ahead and start off with our hand sitting out in front of us like so, and I want you to hook your index finger underneath the tether of your thumb and poi. This is going to give you just a little bit of extra control over it, and you'll note it gives you a little bit of spacing between the two poi. Now from here, I'm going to use that index finger to kind of pull the thumb and poi around. I'm going to be spinning it going counterclockwise to start with relative to me. And you may find that as you're spinning the poi around, you wind up moving the pinky end poi just a little bit. That's okay. What you do when that happens is you have your hand kind of intercept the pinky end poi. So if it starts swinging back and forth in a pendulum, you move your hand in the same direction as the pendulum to bring the poi to a stop. So we're going to go ahead and get our thumb end moving around counterclockwise, and I want you to get in 10 reps spinning the poi counterclockwise before bringing it to a stop. Then you're going to go the opposite direction, bring it around clockwise. Again, give me 10 reps before you bring it down to a stop. And then we're going to work on going back and forth between the two. So there's an interesting little secret hidden inside of this move when I get the thumb end poi moving. Namely, as I spin that thumb end around, I'm angling the plane in such a way that rather than being straight out in front of me, it tilts slightly back. Namely, the top of it is coming towards my nose and the bottom end of it is going away from me. This keeps it clear of the pinky and poi and make sure that the two of them will not tangle with each other. This is also a clue as to how I can do a direction change. Namely, I can tilt the plane of the poi from the vertical that's flat in front of me to being slightly off to one side if I'm going to do a pendulum off to my right. When I do that, I have clearance to bring the thumb end poi back towards me and avoid the pinky end poi. When I do the pendulum off to my left, likewise, I'm angling the plane just slightly, and that gives me clearance to bring it back without hitting the pinky end. So from the front, I can go from counterclockwise to clockwise, and I can go from clockwise to counterclockwise when I angle the plane in this manner. You can also see it from the side here. I start off going counterclockwise, I do my pendulum, I bring it back, and that gets me going clockwise. I do my pendulum the other way, and what do you know? I'm back to counterclockwise. So work on doing these direction changes, going back and forth between your counterclockwise and your clockwise, and try and keep the pinky end poi as still as possible as you go back and forth between these two directions. Yes, this is where we're starting and not where we're ending with this, because as it turns out, there's a lot of training that we can do to be able to independently control the two sides of our hands. And the next one on that list is drill number 2, horizontal control. So way back in the day, I was shown this drill as an example of something that Meteor spinning phenom Andy House had created as a way to get himself really dialed in with each end of his Meteor spinning. So remember how in the last drill we got just the thumb end spinning? Well, we're going to apply some of that knowledge, but rather than spinning it in a vertical plane, we're instead going to spin it in a horizontal plane above our heads. I am doing this with the poi spinning counterclockwise as I look up from down below at it. Now here comes the fun part, because as I spin my thumb end around counterclockwise, I'm now going to switch to my pinky end spinning around counterclockwise. And as I do that, I'm going to immobilize my thumb end. So just my pinky end spinning right now, not my thumb. And then I'm going to switch back the other way, keeping my pinky end as isolated and immobile as possible, and my thumb end going around counterclockwise. So, thumb end spins, and then pinky end spins, and then thumb end spins, and then pinky end spins. When I switch to pinky, I am trying as much as possible to keep most of my hand riveted in place and only move around those fingers that are most directly interacting with the pinky end poi here. So, again, your goal here is to get in 10 reps with the thumb end spinning and 10 reps with the pinky end spinning, and immobilize the other end as you do that, and of course, get the end that was formerly spinning to completely stop when you switch. No small challenge there, right? And yes, by now your forearm should absolutely be burning with all of the different muscles that you are activating and strengthening, and that's only going to get worse from here. Exercise number 3, vertical switch. So, given that the first exercise involved us spinning the poi in vertical planes and the second exercise involved us swapping which end of our hand we were spinning in a horizontal plane, you may have surmised that we are about to put the two pieces together. Alright, so this is going to wind up starting a lot like our first exercise did. Namely, I'm going to stick my hand out in front of me with the two poi kind of aligned straight away, and under the thumb end poi, I'm going to kind of hook my index finger to give myself just a little bit of clearance and leverage. From here, I'm going to get that thumb end poi spinning around counterclockwise. Now here's where things get interesting, because what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to imagine that I'm going to do a big exaggerated stall with that thumb end, taking it up and over, and I'm going to twist my wrist around so that now my thumb is pointed down and my pinky end is pointing up. And I'm going to keep my pinky end poi spinning as my thumb end poi is now immobilized. Again, the thumb end poi is probably going to have just a little bit of momentum on it, but you're going to want to move your hand around to the point where you can get it to stop moving and keep that pinky end spinning while the thumb end just sits there. So part of what's making this work is that I am switching from a place where my thumb end is slightly further away from me to a place where it's now my pinky end that is slightly further away from me. I have changed the orientation of my wrist from being like this, where I'm kind of pointing my thumb out away from me, to like this, where I'm kind of pointing my pinky out away from me. This is kind of an uncomfortable place to stick your arm, but as you train yourself to do it, it will get more and more familiar. Alright, so now we got to go back and forth between the two ends. I'm going to start off by having my thumb end spinning around, and I'm going to do that big, elaborate stall to get my pinky end now spinning in the vertical plane. From here, I want to swap back to having my thumb come up top, and that's going to switch me back to having the thumb end spinning and my pinky end just kind of sitting there inert. Let's do it again. The thumb end goes over in that stall. We immobilize it as the pinky end spins, and then we swap which one is on top and which one's in front to get the thumb end spinning and the pinky end inert. Go back and forth like that, no fewer than 10 times. Goodness. And don't worry, that is the last exercise that I'm going to have you do, where we're going to swap back and forth between thumb and pinky ends, because I think I have tortured you enough there. But that doesn't mean that our work is over. Exercise number 4, flattening butterflies. So not only is this the first exercise we've had on this list that explicitly involves the poi spinning in opposite directions or butterfly, I'm pretty sure it is also the first exercise on this list that I created myself. See, when you spin a one-handed butterfly here, you have to work in such a way that the two poi can spin in opposite directions and not run into each other. And just as is the case when we do this with a butterfly performed with both hands, the way to do it is to have the two poi planes at an angle so they look like an X from the side. The trick is when we first start off spinning our poi in butterfly, we're not very good at doing this. And in most cases, our poi are going to run into each other as we try to spin them around. So how do we get down this ability to change the pitch of the poi planes? Well, when we start up doing this one-handed butterfly, we're actually going to exaggerate this angle right here. We're going to try and get the poi planes as close to horizontal as possible. And when we do that, fascinatingly, it actually almost looks as though the poi are spinning split time same direction. And then we bring them back to vertical so that they are very cleanly in together opposites. We want to make the planes as close to vertical as we possibly can get them. And then we want to flatten them back down to a horizontal again. We want to go back and forth between these two extremes, going up to vertical and down to horizontal. So the goal here is to be able to do 10 reps going back and forth between those vertical planes and those horizontal planes and back again. That is the work, and oh my goodness, is it going to make your one-handed butterflies so much better. And hey, if you can't get enough one-handed butterfly exercises, I have a special bonus exercise attached to the version of this video that is available only to my Patreon subscribers. I will go ahead and leave a link to that video down in the description so you can go check it out for yourself. So before I share with you my final exercise for getting down your Meteor and two poi one hand spinning, I do have a quick favor to ask. If you've come this far, I'm sure that it means that you are quite into poi spinning and you are interested in seeing more videos on that topic. And the good news is I make tons of those videos. If you want to see them, the way you do that is you hit the subscribe button as well as ring the bell. That makes sure that you get notified the next time I drop a video, so you get first draft in line to go check it out. Plus which, it helps out the channel so everybody wins. Thank you in advance. And now, my final pick for exercises that help you develop Meteor and two poi one hand spinning. Exercise number 5, one-handed transitions. So far everything on this list has really been about getting down specific plane control with each side of your hand. And that's all fine and dandy, but when it comes down to really getting down your Meteor or two poi one hand spinning, you also need to get transitions down as well. And the bear of it is there's really no way to cleanly do stalls with two poi one hand and not have one end influence the other. Unfortunately, the geometry of stalls is such that if you perform stalls with one hand, you're probably performing stalls with the other one, with some limited exceptions. So what options does that leave us with? Personally, my favorite transition option for two poi one hand is pendulums. I personally think that pendulums are criminally underrated. So if I'm starting from a place where I am using that one-handed butterfly, what I can do is I can start to take away momentum from my pinky end. And when that happens, I can carry the thumb end around into a reverse 4-beat thumb-led Meteor weave, like so. And the reverse is also true. I can drop the pinky end into another pendulum and switch its direction as the thumb end comes around. So we want to think that as the pinky end comes up, we're trying to kill the momentum on it, and we're swapping the thumb end around underneath it to get into this weave. Likewise, when we come back out of this, we are trying to get the pinky end to do a pendulum off to our right and drop back down as the thumb end is coming around to get us into that one-handed butterfly. So, one-handed butterfly, 2, Meteor weave, and then back to one-handed butterfly, like so. So part of the work on this exercise is, of course, performing a pendulum with only one hand at a time. And part of the work of it is also finding the timing here, making sure that we are keeping both poi moving in such a way that we can find the timing and direction that we're looking for when we come out of the transition. But I also think that this exercise is a good one for getting you started with these transitions and making it feel more natural to perform the pendulums with just one end of this assembly every single time. Cool, so those were my picks for 5 exercises that will improve your Meteor / two poi one hand spinning. Do you have exercises that you prefer for getting these things down? Leave me a comment and let me know. This video and all the videos on this channel would not be possible without my amazing supporters on Patreon. In particular, I'd love to give a huge shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed on screen right now. Thank you all so much for your very, very generous support. And if you out there watching would like to get your name in the credits or access to a host of other awesome rewards, you can do that by signing up for my Patreon over at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. I'll leave a link down in the description as well as up in the cards to go sign up for that. Please, please, please help me out in my mission of bringing poi spinning and flow arts to the whole wide world. Thank you in advance. And if you'd like to learn more about Meteor or 2-poi one-hand or even 3-poi spinning in general, I have an entire playlist of videos I've done on those topics over the years that I'll go ahead and link to up on screen here. That awesome playlist right there. I'll also include a link down in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to get out and flow today, and I'll see you with a new video real soon. Take care now. Peace.